Let's take a quick look at how to tie things together without using rope. Like, one thing you can use is these claspers off of the grapevines. As you can see, when they grow naturally, they grab onto branches and they hold on really tight. So you can take the claspers off of the vine, and you can do the same thing. You can just wrap them around 2 twigs or whatever you're trying to tie together, and so long as you have a sufficient amount of loops to go around it, you can tie the 2 pieces together and they won't come apart. To demonstrate that, all you do is just wrap it right around. See? Wrap it. Wrap it. Just wrap them around like that when you're done, see? You got 2 twigs tied together, and it'll hold them together sufficiently enough that they won't come apart. And then also, tree barks make good cordages. Like this honeysuckle tree right here. It has red flowers on it. They come out in the early fall, and the flowers are edible on this plant also. But the bark makes an extremely good cordage. And to get the bark off of it, what I do is I reach in near the bottom of the stalk. I'll break it, just like that. You break it. And holding on to, you put your fingers under the bark, and using your finger as a leverage point, you pull back on it, and it'll slip the bark right off of the branch. Yeah, this stuff is really tough. I'll have to cut this one with a knife. There's 2 different ways you can do this. I've already showed you the spin and twist method. You spin it and twist it like that. Another way you can do it, what I do, is I'll put my foot on top of the bark, and then just using my hands, I'll spin it, twist it up nice and tight like this. And do that for the entire length of the cordage that you're working with. And if you spin it tight enough to where it wants to kink, you grab it in the middle, fold it in half, and let go of it. It'll spin itself up into a nice little cord. And that's really the easiest way to do that. And just always remember that suitable rope barks strip from the branches easily, and they're incredibly strong, and you almost can't break them when you grab it like that and try to pull it in half. It just will not break. So that's how you know that you have a good bark for making rope out of, is the snap strength of it. When you can grab onto it and pull it, you can't break it, then you have a good material to use. Alright, let's go find some roots, and I'll show you how to make a quick rope out of pine tree roots. And oak tree limbs also make a good rope making material, but not these larger ones that have the dark bark on them. What you need to use is the younger, lighter colored barked spring growth, like what's on this branch right here. And you just strip the leaves off of it, and what you do is you twist it. Just grab onto it. You twist them right up. You see, they don't snap off. They don't tear. They twist right up into a cordage, and you can twist them until they kink and bend them in half, or you can just twist them up like this and use them to tie, because it kind of separates. It kind of splits apart and separates a little bit, and the wood inside there is really wiry, and these oak branches make a wonderful cordage. So no need to mess with messy strings and stuff like that. Okay, now I'm going to try to dig around and find some roots to make cordage out of. And I don't have a shovel, I don't have a knife, and I certainly don't want to use my hands to try and dig around in the soil with. So what I do is I'll take a branch like this, just a dead one, something I can break, and find one with a nice little fork on it, like this one has right here. You need like an adze, see? You can use that to dig around in the dirt. And it'll drag the soil up, and it'll even help you find the roots, because it'll grab onto them. So once you find the root, then you can reach in there. Yeah, see? The pine tree root right there. Try not to use my hands as much as I can. I'd rather use my tool. So you grab onto these little wiry roots. These little roots right here. They're just like the oak tree branches. They're slender. They twist up good. They're wiry. And a lot of times you don't even have to twist these. You can just use them to tie with. And it's the perfect thing. And just to demonstrate how well they tie, see, I haven't twisted this one. Look at that, good and strong. See, yeah, nothing wrong with that, is there? So, and that's just a normal pine tree root is all that is. And there's other roots you can use. Pine tree happens to be one of the best. Probably spruce. Spruce works the best out of all the pine tree roots. But these lodgepole pines, well, they have really good roots to tie with. So if you need rope, you don't necessarily have to make a rope. All you need to do is get a branch or a root or a banana leaf, or the clasp was off of a grapevine, and you've got rope. And basically the only time I would ever use yucca leaves or some kind of material like that where I would be joining fibers in is if I needed to make a really long rope, like if I wanted to make a snare line, something I needed like 20 or 30 feet of rope for. Fishing lines, which roots work the best for fishing lines. But if I needed to make a long fishing line to extend my root hook line or whatever, I would use yucca leaves or something like that, and I would break them up into the fibers and twist it up into a rope and add in as much as I needed to make it as long as I wanted. But for just normal tying, like building a shelter or something like that, the shorter root pieces are abundantly long enough, and you don't really need to do all that twisting and braiding to make a long rope. Only if you need a long rope would you want to attempt to do something like that.